Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, and good morning. Welcome. It's another lovely Sunday morning with an illustrious cast. We have 3 corners this week on the Speaker's Corner, and we would like for you to be a 4th corner. Welcome to the Speaker's Corner. My name is Jeff Wheeler. I'm here under the shadow of, well, there is no shadow today because it's overcast, but I am here underneath the Gold Dome here in a lovely downtown Atlanta, Georgia, in between our state capitol and where they're having football later on this morning at the Georgia Dome and the other Georgia Dome. But let me introduce to you the rest of our cast. I will start with my neighbor to the north, Frank Heathington. Say good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Jeffrey.
How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Wonderful, illustrious introduction.
Yes. And then let me introduce my neighbor to the far north, and Tom Holmes. Say good morning, Tom.
You make it sound like I'm in Ontario or something.
You are in New York.
I'm in the Great White North, coming to you from Queens, New York, where we currently have a football game going on in London.
Do you?
Not in New Jersey. The Jets of New York are playing in London, I guess.
Why are they not the New Jersey Jets?
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Why-
JETSNYJ, right?
Why isn't that team in D.C. technically the Maryland offensive name?
Offensive name. Skins. Shirts and skins. So in any case, we've got quite a few topics up for you. Let me bring up a few things for you. First, the weather, because the weather is always exciting. Hurricane Joaquin coming up the east coast of the United States, but it doesn't really look like it's going to hit any of the east coast of the United States. I haven't followed it very much, but everybody else seems to. Any thoughts on the weather?
It is October.
I can't argue those facts.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm happy that it's not going to. I mean, South Carolina, I know, is getting drenched, so I hope they are okay, but I'm glad that we won't necessarily get hit.
Yeah, but they're not getting hit with winds and storm. They're just kind of getting hit with heavy rain bands.
I can still do damage. I mean, flood damage is flood damage,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Mother Nature, what she does.
Mother Nature.
So,
one last thought is I love the names. I mean, it's just like Joaquin. Joaquin's coming, you know. Although I hope they start to play around, have Tropical Storm Chewbacca. They do with the winter storms. The winter storms had it was Mrs. Teller's 3rd grade class named him because they had Winter Storm Gandalf, Winter Storm Dumbledore. It was really cool. They need to start doing that with hurricanes, you know.
That would be great.
Although I guess maybe you don't want negative associations. If Hurricane Han Solo knocked your house down, you might.
You would not go to Star Trek anymore. Yeah. Star Wars.
Star Trek. Yeah. What?
Apparently, it's been a long morning for me. Apparently.
Yeah. You're not listening clearly.
I'm clearly not listening clearly.
But you know who is listening clearly?
Yes, Edward Snowden recently joined Twitter, and in his first 48 hours, he got 1.3 million followers. But the ironic thing is he messed up. Edward Snowden did not turn off email notifications for his Twitter account, so he has 47 gigabytes of email notifications from the 1.3 million followers he had, and all of the direct messages, all of the follows, all of the retweets, all of the favorites.
Oh my God!
That's 47 gigabytes of data that just showed up. Because he didn't flip a switch.
Whoops. So
it happens to all of us. And just as another piece of irony, he's only following one person.
Yes. It's Tia Tequila, right?
Tia Tequila. It is not Tia Tequila. Although that is who we all. If you have one follower, Tia Tequila would be a good one to have. But
okay.
He's actually following the @NSA.
That's brilliant.
And his joke was, now a bunch of people in wherever the NSA is headquartered out of started a Twitter account because he started one.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's brilliant. It's and I love, and who was the one who in, as much as I know I'm going to get flack for this when I say this,
1,000 people at Fort
because
Meade.
I'm tired of this person, because it's just like, I hate that he's just like everywhere. It's becoming a little bit nauseating. But who was the person who inspired Snowden to join Twitter?
Do not know.
That would be one Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Really?
Yep. So that they had their first exchange, and I'm waiting for Ziggy, who's running the dials, to suddenly call me out for my apparent Neil deGrasse Tyson hate that I just threw out. Shade, I should say. I just threw out some Tyson shade. But yeah, I got some Tyson shade.
So speaking of shade, there's a new term that we should all know. This new term is called FUB.
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 Don't know this.
Oh, I've heard of this. I've heard of this, and I thought about you, Jeffrey, when I heard that word.
And it is a thing. There is now a concept called fubbing.
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 It's almost like turning this item into a fashion item, I feel like.
Okay.
What kind of shoes are you wearing?
Well, introduce fubbing then, Frank, if you're familiar.
Isn't fubbing keeping up with the latest phone?
No.
Snubbing it if you're going out on a date and they see your phone is not up to date?
Oh,
I think it's actually more appropriately going out on a date or going out in a social circumstance, and you snub your friends by just staring at your phone all day and all night.
Oh no, you're staring at your phone and it's not the latest phone. Gotcha.
It's not about the keeping up with the Joneses part. It's about the
technology.
It's about the going out with somebody and all you do is stare at your phone all night.
That's called
fubbing.
Fubbing.
And okay, and what kind of word is that?
No idea.
I believe it's
English?
The term is portmanteau.
Okay, portmanteau.
Portmanteau is when you combine two words to create a new word. This being
snub,
phone and snub, becoming fub. That's a portmanteau.
Portmanteau. Okay, great. Yeah. So a portmanteau of phone and snub is fub. So therefore, if you go out with your SO and you stare at your phone all night long, then you have been fubbed. You are fubbing that.
That's great. You know, what's so interesting is just this week I think I read there was an article talking about it's exceptionally high rate with millennials, where it's completely accepted that you can maintain basically two conversations. Mm-hmm. You can have a conversation with someone and I know this with a coworker of mine who happens to be, yes, she's our director of social media, but she's also explicit and openly admits a millennial, and so oftentimes in meetings with her she'll be talking to me, but at the same time she'll be messaging someone else, and it's a little bit problematic. We're not on a date obviously, but it's still kind of like, hey, come on.
Yep. And just so that you know, the word fub will not Google properly. You have to do fubbing to do that, because if you just Google fub, P-H-U-B, you'll get the abbreviation for Pornhub.
Ha! Ha! That's great.
So
I like that.
That's it. Well, then, speaking about Googling, I will give you my weekly dose of what not to Google. The weekly dose of what not to Google is, apparently Honey Boo Boo has released a new music video, and it is between atrocious, awful, and ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage no one to ever Google that ever. Please do not Google this. It is not good. The end.
That's been your public service announcement of the week.
This is a public service announcement. Thank you.
Nice PSA.
Yes. What else is in the news?
Who are we bombing now? This is a combination of two stories, one of which is, as Frank was pointing out, Russia has stepped up their game in Syria, sending planes and
trains and automobiles.
Exactly. They have sent the corpse of John Candy and Steve Martin. Not Steve Martin's corpse, but Steve Martin. No, they've sent planes and other military personnel to Syria.
Steve Martin's career, maybe?
Oh. No, he is still strong. Come on. He doesn't do films really anymore, but he writes. Yeah. They've sent forces to Syria, basically under the auspices of fighting ISIS, but as we all know, it's the prop up Bashar al-Assad, and to underscore that fact, they've proceeded to began bombing not ISIS, but other rebel forces that are attacking Bashar al-Assad, including forces that were trained by the CIA. So, oops.
And their entire message is, we're going to help with this ISIS problem, but we just want you guys to stay away while we're doing it. Don't get in our airspace while we're doing it.
Is that their message?
From what I've read, is that they are, that they're basically saying, we're going to do some stuff, but we need you guys to stay out of our airspace while we're doing it. And they're basically bombing whoever the hell they want to bomb.
Yeah. And being pretty strategic about who they're bombing.
That is very true.
And using the fig leaf of, yes, we're there to fight the evil of ISIS. But really, we're here for our buddy. A good buddy.
And when what was it, Putin was over here talking to Obama?
Uh-huh.
And whenever they were talking, the news media said that they left with an agreement to share information on the fight. Mm-hmm. But really, the wording said that they would start a council to discuss the sharing of information about ISIS.
We're going to establish a blue ribbon committee.
Correct.
Investigate.
Correct.
Wank, wank, wank.
Yeah, exactly. So, in other words, they didn't actually agree to share information. They agreed to talk about sharing information.
I love politicians. They're the best. They do nothing at all. And the other bombing, which I looped into this, is the U.S. apparently is investigating now that may have bombed a Doctors Without Borders hospital site.
Really?
Outside Kunduz, which was the city that was captured by the Taliban, their first city captured since, I guess, the post 9/11 invasion of Afghanistan. Yes, a hospital site. I don't know what the casualty count is, but there were casualties. And technically, again, it is, regardless of if forces are, because there's always that, forces might be using those hospitals as a shield. True. But still, international law dictates that you can't fire upon hospitals, mosques, or churches. It's just one of those, sorry.
Yeah, but you got to have some hands off in war if you want to make it work,
Exactly. Wait, what do you mean? What is that? Are you saying, that's the law, but we can still bomb them?
No. I'm saying if you're going to have a society that has humans that survive through these conflicts, then you got to have a little bit of off limits in order to have society sustain after you're done.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Right? Because that has to do with, you may win this war, but then there's no society left for you to have when you're done.
Right. You've gone Mad Max on the
That's right.
on the country.
And apparently there's some deleted scenes in Mad Max that are wonderful to look at whenever you get the Blu-ray.
Oh, what a lovely extended scene.
Yep.
Did we talk about the movie?
Briefly. I have not seen it, so no spoilers, please.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen that or The Martian.
Oh, I don't care about The Martian.
I heard
that's still out in
things
theaters.
about
But that's still out in theaters. Mad Max was out in theaters in the. I'm upset with you, man. I'm upset with myself that I didn't do a better job of making you go see that. Yeah.
There's an opportunity here. Let's just say that.
All right. You know what we aren't going to be able to see, and I didn't even know existed. So apparently the Gator Band.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you watching at home, all four of the panelists here not only attended the University of. Actually, all four of us attended the University of Florida, and all four of us have some connection with the Gator Band. 3 of us having played, and 1 being married to a player as well.
Yep.
So apparently the Gator Band got a letter from the University Athletic Union or the University Athletic Association, whatever ruling body, that they had to stop playing 2 songs that encouraged scurrilous or negative chants. I don't know if we're so far removed. I had no idea that these ditties existed or these cadences existed. One of them was to encourage the students would chant "Move back, you suck," and the other one was some kind of like "You can't do that" ditty.
Really,
the band can't play these songs. I'm confused because I'm like I don't, and then the band saying, "Well, I can't believe they're making us not do this tradition." Are we so old and removed that I don't either remember this tradition or there's a new tradition that was established after us?
There was one that was there whenever we started that I heard yesterday that they quit, right? So you know when they did the doom 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 doom. So the band played, and then there was a drum cadence, and then everybody threw the towels back and forth.
Okay.
Whenever there was I guess it was a foul or a penalty.
No, that was John Cena's song from WWE.
Okay, but there was a song that had a drum break in the middle of it, and apparently during the Kentucky game, the Kentucky University, the KU game, then there was a chant that kind of started and got real legs, and that's why they had to stop playing that. And that started whenever we were there, approximately 2099, something like that.
Okay, so it feels like it has to be post me because I totally have no recollection, and I'm 99, so maybe I'm 37. I'm not 99 years old. 1999.
I was about to say.
Yeah. To Ziggy's point, but if how can the band? I guess but it is one thing. Ziggy says, but if the crowd chooses to chant something else, is that the band's responsibility? No, unless the band becomes aware of this and realizes that if they do this, they can then have power over them. So I guess then it becomes
Yeah, and you want the football thing to be classy, but you also want to. The point is to have a little bit of a dig,
Doesn't the Wisconsin students, don't they chant back, like two sections chant at each other, fuck you, eat shit, fuck you, eat shit? During games. I seriously, I think this is a tradition in Wisconsin for fans to chant that. So, move back, you suck seems pretty tame compared to fuck you, eat shit.
Right. It does. It does. And, I think people have too much in their face about how it's supposed to be, and everybody has to be official and all this. There ought to be a world that you are able to make some inappropriate comments and not have the police jump on you,
The thought police are coming to do. The thought police are... Sorry. Getting my who on.
That's right. So as a who... let me go to a man who has put on a fake mask and covered his hair. Jay Leno has put on masks so that he can drive an Uber driver. So if you're in the LA area and you order an Uber black car, then you have a reasonable chance of ending up with Jay Leno as your driver.
Sounds awful.
Seeing as his show, Jay Leno's Garage, is not getting enough hits, if you will. It's not getting enough ratings. They've decided to run him as an Uber driver so he has a captive audience of 3 or 4.
So you're saying not only do I risk the chances of paying surge pricing,
right?
But I also risk the chance of being trapped in a car with Jay Leno?
And, well, you can just call that chin surge pricing.
Oh! I think I'm going to walk.
It's L.A. You don't walk. It's just not acceptable.
I will take public transportation. Oh, wait, it's L.A.
Wait, that also doesn't happen.
I will move.
Yeah, the move is a good option, or go buy a car for a single trip. That's the other thing you do in L.A. So there you go. That's another ridiculousness. And speaking of on the roads, 20 years ago, there was a result for a white Bronco incident.
That's the worst segue, but I still appreciate the attempt. Continue.
O.J. Simpson was found not guilty. Is that acquitted?
As Ziggy said, if the glove doesn't fit, you must quit.
So 20 years ago, O.J. was acquitted of murder and then went on to produce one of the most ridiculous reality shows ever produced. You Got Juiced.
I don't remember that.
It was limited release.
Show?
It was a prank show where O.J. Simpson was in the corner drunk, and some comedian played some ridiculous prank on somebody, O.J. Simpson like woke up enough at the end of the prank to walk up and went, "Oh, you got juiced."
No, I don't know that.
Call O.J. Simpson Juice.
I know the juice. Yeah.
Right.
Orenthal James.
Orenthal James.
Yeah. Where were you for the decision? Do you remember?
No, I didn't. I never cared. I never watched any of the trial. I saw some replay of the car chase, and that is as close to O.J. Simpson mania as I ever got. Frank, that seems like it was right up your alley. Did you watch the O.J. Simpson craziness?
I did watch the whole trial. Yes.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was riveting.
Yeah.
Which I think could be an awesome segue to the random country of the week.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're gonna bump that up. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so this is kind of goes with news this week. One of our former presidents, Jimmy Carter.
Are we gonna guess this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He is going to a country to help with his cancer that he has. I believe he has some kind of brain cancer, and he is headed to this country to try to hopefully cure him or help him with his ailment right now. And this country is famous for ox. It's also famous for a lot of political debate. And it isn't really a country. What country am I?
Cleveland.
It's famous for ox.
Yeah.
Like oxen?
Oxen, yes.
And it's not really
ox.
a country.
I try to be as ambiguous as possible.
Yeah, that's pretty ambiguous.
Where ox? It's
If I give up,
is it a principality?
It is not a principality.
No, it's not. It's not technically a country.
Is it an island?
It is not an island. It is in Asia.
It is in Asia. Is it?
It is a landlocked country.
But it's not
Tibet?
a country. But it's not a country. You said.
The one of the principal iconic
Hong Kong.
monuments in this country means forehead of the sky in the native language.
Forehead of the sky.
It is also a movie that is out right now.
Oh, so it's
Martian.
Nepal.
It is Nepal, yes.
Nepal
not
is
a
a country.
country.
It's a country.
I know
Nepal
it's
is a country,
I
is
was
it
trying
not?
to be- China doesn't declare it to be a country.
The rest of the it didn't. That's no.
I think I've used Nepal before, by the way.
Yes, you have, because I always went Viva Nepal, Nepal, Nepal.
Yeah, and then the internet domain .np would have given it away as well.
Yes.
Oh, no problem.
The slaughter.
Dad, no problem, man. Is it Jamaica, man?
Wow, that's offensive. Stop.
Jesus, the amount of between 13 and 15-year-olds, the amount who smoke tobacco in Nepal is 21%.
Between what years old?
Between 13 and 15.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's about the same as West Virginia.
God.
uh,
Yeah.
Oh,
So there you go.
God.
the only other thing I don't have an ass hat or a things that piss me off that shouldn't piss me off. But I did throw this last kind of one in, and it got dropped all the way down to the bottom. Is Alphabet is official now?
What do you mean? Was it not official before?
No, I think it's finally. And by Alphabet, I mean Google is now Alphabet.
Explain.
Google in a and I need to read the details more about how this works, but Google has restructured itself so that the parent company is Alphabet, and then underneath Alphabet, and actually the stock now will be traded as Alphabet. So what was formerly Goog on the stock market will be go to the internet and search this to back me up. So now it'll be Alphabet as the kind of parent company with all the different projects kind of subdivided underneath it. This is to better organize how it like allocates resources for projects like the car and other the devices and hardware devices that they make versus their mainstay of the search engine.
Wow.
Everyone's gone quiet as they read. Am I the only one who knew about this?
Yes, I had no idea.
Wow.
Well, and as I'm Googling, I'm also finding out that Don't Be Evil Creed disappears as the company morphs into Alphabet.
Whoa.
Right? So they had the original statement. They had an original statement of "Don't be evil" as their credo, right?
Right.
And now when it's Alphabet, they don't have that credo anymore.
Ziggy's saying that's been heading out the door for a while now.
What is
the credo has been heading out, but it has existed in the formal language of the incorporation documents.
Oh, okay. So
since they now have new incorporation documents because it's a new incorporation, then you don't have that anymore.
Wow. So maybe I should send you all to do some research on this and come back next week and.
The employees of Alphabet and its subsidiaries should do the right thing. In other words, follow the law, act honorably, and treat others with respect.
I think Ziggy was down with this. Ziggy was all about the Alphabet. I don't know what y'all been doing all week. This is what happens when I take a couple of weeks off. You guys start to slack.
That's correct.
I need to keep y'all. I need to keep you folks.
Seriously, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now you can own stock.
Well, but I mean, they've got companies like Calico, which is focused on longevity. There's Life Sciences that works on glucose sensing contact lenses. Google's doing all kinds of weird stuff, right? And on the Alphabet website, which is called abc.xyz, which is very apropos, right?
Yeah,
G
like
is
that.
for Google. As Sergey and I wrote in the original founder's letter 11 years ago, Google is not a conventional company. We do not intend to become one. As part of that, we also said that we could expect us to make smaller bets in areas that might seem very speculative or even strange when compared to our current business. From the start, we've always strived to do more and do more important and meaningful things with the resources we do have.
There you go.
There it is, Alphabet.
Yeah, knowledge dropped.
Boom. And that is the kind of knowledge that we... Oh, I get it. It's not the Hebrew alphabet, right? But it is the alpha, as in the first time you try something, and BET, as in I am betting on a horse. Right?
First off, I don't think that's Hebrew. I think that's Greek, isn't it?
I believe that alphabet is Hebrew.
It's actually from the Latin. The English word alphabet came into Middle English from the late Latin word alphabetum, which in turn originated from the Greek alphabetos.
But the alpha,
to your point.
Think of it as an alpha-bet, meaning
Yes.
that it is the first time you try something, and they're betting on something that didn't exist before.
I like that.
And that makes a whole lot more sense using the word alphabet.
I like that. That actually kind of is cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I would,
So
I would encourage them.
Potentially, some of you have made your first bet in watching this show. Hopefully, you got some returns on that bet. Maybe you got some knowledge. Maybe you got some new insight on something. Hopefully, you didn't walk away from the casino, this casino, in tears. Because if you come here, yes, the house always wins, but we consider you part of our house.
Oh,
Oh, that was good.
it's like profit sharing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we're what is that?
This is the socialism of knowledge. This is the socialism of knowledge, where all knowledge is shared equally amongst all the people.
That is, and Frank's crotch is on camera.
That's being shared equally amongst all.
Thank you very much. And well, I will say that while we appreciate you joining us, you do not have to think like me.
You do not have to think like me.
And Frank is on the phone.
I don't think.
Okay, but we're going to ask you as our audience to think, and we'll talk to you about what you think about next week. Thanks so much.
Thanks.